Good morning and welcome to Thrive, Not Just Survive. Today we're talking about sleep, and I wanted to, bring this topic on because I've had quite a few people talk to me about not sleeping. So, not just the fact that perhaps COVID-19 has, brought on a different level of stress, but they're not sleeping for many different reasons. So I just want to give you a simple example of what I'm doing right now, which is really robbing me of my sleep time routine and also making me more tired. So I'm taking a very intense course that I'm immersed in, and it feels like I'm back in university. So, with all of the homework assignments, all of the different things that I have to complete prior to my next session with my coach. And so what's happening is I'm off my routine. I'm doing a lot more brain work because obviously I'm doing the exercises. And what I'm finding is that I'm sleeping later. And then I'm also, although I'm falling asleep because I'm exhausted, I'm waking up exhausted. So it's like my body is not used to the number of hours of sleep that I'm getting, and it's making me more tired. So there are things that we can do that we can put into our routines that can really help in terms of making sure our body gets the sleep it needs. So just as we need a good diet and a good exercise program, we need to be very conscious of our sleep patterns because this can actually affect our health and our mental game. So today, Sharon Fillmore, and as I bring her on, we're going to be talking about the benefits of sleep and what are the things that you can do to actually get better sleep and how that can really change how you performance on your daily mental focus and clarity, and even your health. So let me bring Sharon on so we can get this conversation started.
Good morning.
Hi, Sharon. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. It's always such a pleasure on Thursday to talk about things that people can do, really implement into their lives that can make a huge difference. And sometimes we take this as granted stuff. Of course, everybody knows we have to sleep. Everybody knows we should eat well. Everybody knows we should exercise. But sometimes we get lost in it all and not have a strategy where we can actually use some of the techniques that are simple to implement into our daily routine. So today I want to talk about sleep. If you can walk us through the benefits of sleep.
Oh, the benefits of sleep. We don't have time for that today. There are so many benefits. Number one, it's really important for mental clarity. Every part of your body runs because it gets the right kind of rest. An example is if you're chronically have chronic sleep problems, you tend to have high blood pressure. You can have heart problems. You can even have symptoms of mental health disorders. There's so many things that can happen when you don't get enough sleep.
Right.
It's a chronic problem. It isn't just because of COVID, and COVID is just making it worse.
Right.
For a multiple of reasons. Number one, the increased stress. However, we're not doing what we did before. Before you said, well, no, I don't really have an exercise program, but you went to work and you walked up and down stairs and you walked here and you walked there. You went for a walk at lunch. You didn't realize how much exercise you're getting. So now many people aren't getting any. So there's no. They have mental fatigue, and however, we need physical and mental fatigue to get a really good night's rest.
Right. And so again, in terms of, the fact that if we're not getting enough sleep, we're suffering in terms of our physical and mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And so really the benefits in terms of, what sleep can actually do for us is not just getting mental clarity, but the amount we can actually perform during the day goes up, right? So we're able to do more, we get more accomplished. And so as we begin to do these things, we can actually alleviate some of our stress because it brings out the action in us to be able to complete certain tasks.
Exactly. And it's the inaction that increases your stress and increases your inability to sleep.
Right. And it becomes a vicious cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And of course, it's you sometimes you feel like you're on that treadmill, sort of like, nonstop, the gerbil kind of thing.
Yes. I've got Zainab here saying, she can't sleep at all. She hardly sleeps 2 hours every day, which really, I mean, for a lot of people, this is a problem. Maybe even that this was before COVID, right? So this could be something that the body now is in a state of almost like an emergency state where it's not getting what it needs. We as humans are programmed with a rhythm. We were talking about this earlier, that there's a rhythm within our bodies that we're programmed to need the sleep, to need the, obviously the diet, the exercise, all of it. But for those who are not sleeping, like our audience member here today saying, 2 hours a day is definitely not conducive to good sleeping rituals or sleeping performance and benefits, right? So what can somebody like this who is experiencing real difficulty, what can she do to help her get better sleep, even if it's gradual, right? Like you maybe not going from 2 to 8 hours.
Oh yeah, it's going to be difficult to go from 2 to 8 hours. Some of the things to look at is number one, is she having physical problems like pain at night? Is she restless at night? She's not able to keep still. One of the big ones is, when do you turn off your electronics? It's difficult, how difficult it is if we turn our electronics off at least 30 minutes before we're actually going to get into bed. Very often that helps, because the blue light from all of your electronics actually makes your body think it's daytime, so it doesn't want you to sleep.
Right. And that's a training thing, right? Because now we're so hooked on our devices, the television, there's blue lights from the television. So even just putting that in effect to say at 30 minutes, like you're saying, just before that, you're going to turn it all off and give your brain some space. And maybe even being in more of a dimmer room to prepare the body and the mind, the conscious mind, to know that you're preparing for rest. Rather than being in a very bright lit room, you want to maybe dim the lights a little bit.
Exactly. The darker the room, the better, in the sense that if no outside light is coming in, then your body thinks that it is exactly nighttime.
Right.
Without any stars. I used to work shift work, and I had my room painted a very, very dark green, and it had a blackout blind that went over it. And that was the only way that I could get enough sleep when I was working on night shift.
And that's something really good to be conscious of, right? Even the colors in your room. Like I've read a lot of studies in the past where it says the paint in your color in your room also affects emotions, not just sleep, but it actually, like a bright red room will keep you really elevated in your state of emotion, whereas a muted color will bring that down. So in bedrooms, it's recommended to have more softer colors so that you're bringing that back down.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let me just see. I've got another questioner coming through. So I'm just going to put this up. Since 23 years, I can't sleep because I've lost my husband. So that's another very, I think this is something really important to address, right? Because if you've had stress, if you've had trauma, there's all of these things that if you're building up in over 23 years for this person, obviously, it's building up on things that are bringing your body not to come back down to relax mode.
Okay. And actually what I'd suggest here is, if she believes that that part of her reason is she's still grieving, grief counseling would be very important for our person here. Then another thing is, if it has to do with not having somebody in the bed, move to a smaller bed.
Right.
Or put a pillow or something in place, like a body pillow where your husband was, so that you have that feeling that there is another person there for you.
I know I'm going to take you a little bit on the side here, because I think you touched on something really important. Is, perhaps for those that have lost a husband or a spouse or whoever, if you've had that and you haven't had some grief counseling, I think, even if it's been 23 years, I think the benefits of just having that counseling sessions or whatever it takes can be extremely beneficial on many levels, not just sleep, right?
Exactly. And there's so many grief counseling services out there that don't require you to any income. Very often they're free. And I'd start looking at funeral homes. Very often they're the ones that will offer some free grief counseling.
Right, right. And so again, I think, this is all part of the stress that we are under, the trauma we've been through, and all of us have different things that we're dealing with. The fact of the matter is, if your sleep is not consistently, at least 6 hours from all the studies I've read, minimum 6 hours.
Minimum 6, 7.5, 8 is optimum.
Is great. Like, I mean, that's if it's optimum. But if you are at the minimum not having 6 hours, we have to really look at what can we do now to actually bring in a little bit more sleep. So can you walk us through some of the strategies that we can employ?
Okay, so there's like we talked about, turning down the lights in the evening, making things more relaxing so that your body's preparing to sleep. The dark room is really great. Journaling is awesome, because when you journal, you take all of your thoughts from the day and you put it on paper and you put it away. Do you remember when I spoke earlier about, when you're going into something, you imagine that you're putting your troubles away? It's just the same idea, only you're writing it out, and it's the flow from your mind to your journal, and you just leave it. By leaving it there, that simple act, then those things don't bother you, don't keep you up at night.
And it's also a good idea then to have your journal of things that you want to do the next day, because sometimes that plays in the brain, right? Oh, I've got to do this, I got to do that. I know I'm notorious for that, where I'm constantly thinking. So it's nice that you can put it on paper, and once you've released it, it allows your brain to stop thinking about it.
Exactly. And so that you can have a more restful sleep as a result. There's also what you watch on TV at night makes a difference too. If you're watching a lot of violent TV, you'll tend to have more dreams that reflect that.
Right.
And so they will tend to reduce your quality of sleep.
Right.
A lot of people sleep with someone who makes noise at night. And so earplugs are a godsend. I actually use them. My former husband snored. So did I, actually. I found out later. But my former husband snored. So I slept with earplugs for, a lot of years, actually, probably 20 years or more. And simply because it allowed to block out that noise so that I could have a better quality sleep. So that's always great. However, and then there's the opposite side, people that need noise. Yeah. My son, for most of his life, slept with a fan on, because that background noise helped, the humming of the fan helped him to sleep.
Yeah, I have a friend that actually has an app that is a white noise app that has to be on before she goes to sleep. So depending on where the person is or what you need, noise, darkness, light, whatever that is, once you figure it out, I think the thing we should talk about is the importance of a nighttime routine. We talk a lot about our morning rituals, our morning routines, getting that journal written, the gratitude and the meditation. But what about at nighttime? What about that ritual?
And actually, so I would start at the same time every night. So you go to bed. I know on the weekends we think, we want to party, and that's okay. Just remember, it's going to disturb your sleep a little bit. And so get ready at the same time. I set an alarm so that I know, okay, it's time to start getting ready for bed. Don't always follow it, but I do set it. So, and have your ritual. Like some of us women, we have makeup to take off, and we like to spend, 20, 30, 40 minutes just, looking after ourselves, our self-care, which is really important for us, for our general well-being. And at night, it helps us to wind down, and it helps us to feel good about ourselves because we're doing something for ourselves.
Yeah.
All those things work so well.
I know when I was growing up, my mom had, this thing where it would be warm milk, that you would drink a warm glass of milk, right? It's, again, part of the ritual. But I think there's something about the warm. Like if you had, I know with caffeine, you have to be careful, right? Because you don't want to over caffeinate before going to bed, but you could perhaps get into a ritual of having either warm water, warm milk, green tea that's caffeinated.
Yeah, so I often have chamomile tea before bed.
Right.
because chamomile tea helps you to relax, and it helps your body move into that's more of a sleep rhythm.
Right. And what about the idea of having, like, there's a lot of these essential oils, and lavender is one of those scents that, lowers your stress and it brings a calm, and maybe having a diffuser going that will allow that feeling to come through. What about that?
Lavender is really good. And also if you mix it with orange, it sort of has that really sort of relaxing effect as well. Lavender is also, and if you don't have a diffuser, you can just buy lavender, and the little pouches that are aerated, you just put some lavender in it, throw it underneath your pillow, and you can put lemon verbena in there as well. And then both of them are calming and help a lot.
And these are things that, once you figure out what works for you, is something that you just put into your routine as a ritual. It's like you said, it's for, removing makeup or combing your hair before you go or putting lotion on, whatever that ritual is for you. It's about being aware and being, I think it's about taking that first step of creating that routine for you, right? And making sure that, it's important for you to know how important sleep is, and that it affects your performance the next day. Make this a priority, especially for the person that commented of 2 hours a night. I think that, you definitely need to continue to work on getting more sleep. And science has shown that REM sleep, like when you're sort of in that deeper sleep mode, is when that full amount of rest is happening. If you're not getting into REM sleep, you're going to wake up exhausted, and the cycle will continue.
Exactly. And the REM is so important, because you need that routine at night, that sleep, and also dreaming is very important. One of the things that I had also wanted to mention was, if you don't sleep, say you go to bed and you can't sleep, don't spend all night lying there frustrated. Read a boring book if that helps you, or listen to a meditation CD, sometimes a guided meditation. And you know what? And if after 20, 30 minutes, if you're, still roaming around the bed, get up and do something, and particularly to calm your mind.
Right.
So I would say get up and journal, sit up and I wouldn't put the TV on. I would, do something that is calming, calming for you. Maybe
like even deep breathing. I think just the fact of just taking some deep breaths, getting more oxygen into you to calm those whatever thoughts are. For me, it helps.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, our meditation today is a breathing meditation, because what works best at night for you.
Right. So maybe that's what we can, walk our people through. There's, quite a few people watching, is a breathing meditation. And then they can use this perhaps at nighttime and come to it and just sort of take the few minutes that you're going to take to walk us through it and use it, and see if it helps them, right? Because it is finding something that works for you. Everybody's different. And so it's not like a one shoe fits all, but you do want to find something that works.
Exactly. And try multiple things. And mix them up a little bit until you find the routine that works the best for you.
Right. So if you can walk us through, this would be great, because I think for me anyways, last night, as I said to you, I've had, a lot of work, and I've been going to bed very, very late, and then waking up more tired. And so I do want to get back into sort of, getting into a routine again to make sure that I still get the sleep that I need, so I'm not feeling exhausted.
Exactly. So let's, would everyone like to put your hands on your thighs, your feet flat on the floor, and just relax a little bit, and just let your mind quiet. And today we're going to focus on our breath, because this will help calm your mind and your body. It'll help you to relax. There's no right or wrong way, okay? So whatever you experience is for you, and it's just today, it's about observing. So I want you to be sure you're nice and comfortable. Roll your shoulders forward, roll them back. Slowly tilt your head from one side to the other. Put your head down to your your ear down to your shoulder, and then the other side. Feel your muscles relaxing. Ah, doesn't that feel lovely? Your body will continue to relax as you meditate. Observe your breathing. Notice how your breath flows in and out. Make no effort to change your breathing. Just notice how your body breathes. Your body knows how much air it needs. Sit quietly. See in your mind's eye your breath flowing gently in and out of your body. In and out. If your attention wanders, just bring it back. Just tag it, and you'll know that it'll come back when you need it. Don't dwell on your thoughts, just let them go. See how your breath continues to flow deeply and calmly. And you're starting to really relax now. Your muscles are feeling tired. Notice the stages of the complete breath. From your inhalation to the pause, to the exhalation and the pause before taking another breath. See the breaks between the breaths. Feel the air entering through your nose. Picture your breath flowing through the cavities of the sinuses and down into your lungs. And feel your lungs filling and your breath breathing in and out. If thoughts come into your mind, let them pass through. They'll come back when it's time. See the air inside your body after you inhale, filling your body gently. Notice how the space inside your lungs becomes smaller after you exhale and the air leaves your body. Feel your chest and your stomach gently rise and fall with each breath. Now, as you inhale, silently count 1. And as you exhale, count 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Notice how your body feels. See how calm and gentle it is. How the breathing has relaxed your body, how it feels. Are there any other areas that you notice that aren't quite relaxed and calm? Take a deep breath and breathe into them. Into that body part that's not relaxed and feel it relaxed with each breath. And keep breathing easily and effortlessly. Now it's time to reawaken your body and your mind. Keep your eyes closed and notice the sounds around you. Feel the floor beneath you. Feel your clothes against your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Shrug your shoulders up and down. Now open your eyes and stretch your arms and legs gently. There we go. So what I would recommend is that you don't do the wake up part. I did the wake up part because we don't want people sleeping all day. However, just continue to listen. You're very welcome. Thank you. The only other thing I would suggest is if you try these things and that's not working, see your doctor, because you may have some sort of a deeper problem with sleep that you might need some other treatment for.
Yeah. And always, I think, talk to your medical professionals that take care of you, that know your history, that have a little bit more insight. What we're offering is obviously just tips and techniques that are for somebody that just wants to try this and see if it works for them. But like you said, contact your medical professional that knows your history, that can help you if really you can't get past it by yourself. You don't want to be suffering on your own and not reaching out to the people that can actually help you. So I think that's really good advice. But you know what, for this one, you're right. Like, obviously, if you're doing this at sleep time, you're not going to get yourself to that point of open your eyes. You're just going to keep continuing the breath work, meaning focus on the breath, the in and out. And as long as you keep that focus, and the thoughts will come. Like, I think the idea is not here to stop thought. No. It's because that's not possible. And the whole idea of that will cause frustration. But the idea is to just bring yourself back to breath when you wander, when the thoughts wander or they come, is to just come back to breath, and practice. This is not something that you can get the first time.
No, it takes practice. And everyone, depending on how busy their minds are, will take different amounts of time. Now, I have a very busy mind, so that's why I say tag it. I learned that if I just imagine that I'm putting a tag on that thought and it's going away, it will come back when it's time for me to do something about that thought.
Yeah, and come up with a system, right? Whether you call it tagging, whether you call it, it's a rest point or whatever it is, right? Give it something that means something to you and put it away. Exactly. So I just want people to know, like, they can connect with you on Facebook at sharon.fillmore.77. You are working on a business page, so, you can also, once that's up, and we'll obviously, bring it once it's ready, we'll put it up here as well. But if you have questions or something that's come up for you, reach out to Sharon, befriend her on Facebook and ask questions, because really it's when you take control of the situation and reach out for help and find people that can guide you. We all need that, This is, human consciousness was not just a one-man show. We all came together and we need to support each other. And with or without COVID-19, we have to understand that, there's a lot of things that a community can bring you with your friend circle, your people that really you look up to, your mentors, your coaches, and really accelerate your journey of learning, self-exploration. So today, Sharon, I want to thank you because I think this was really helpful for me. Absolutely. Because as I told you what I'm doing, and I need to focus back on my routine and get my sleep routine back. But for those who are suffering with other things, other challenges, traumas and things like this, really, I think you've brought something to light, is that take control of the situation and be present to it and find ways that work for you. Exactly. Because whatever works for you is yours. Think of that. And that's the miracle and the gift of it all is work that, like, figure out that key, the lock, because you've got the lock and you got to find the key that works to make sure that, it fits. So I want to thank you today. This was a great session on sleep and just the benefits and other things that we could do. And I think for a lot of people, because we're in COVID-19, I just want to bring this up. A lot of people are watching more TV and using their devices more. Really bear in mind that this blue light really does have an effect on your physical body and your sleep. And you may really want to become conscious of how much time you're spending on it prior to going to bed. So let's end with that. Please be cognizant, turn the light off or do whatever it takes to get off of the device and practice it. I would say give yourself 7 days to start and a 30-day ritual to really start seeing the benefits of it. So start with a small goal in mind, saying for 7 days, I'm going to practice this, turning the blue light off or the TV off an hour before sleep or a half hour before sleep. And then watch it for 7 days. Really try and do that, and then implement the new habit for 30 days. Because I think people that want to see quick results, you're not going to see it in one day.
No.
Right? And we have to be cognizant. All of this takes practice, and it's teaching the brain things that you've taught it, perhaps the things that didn't work took a while for it to learn. Now you have to unlearn that. So really be cognizant, be kind to yourself. It's not going to be an overnight success story. However, if you practice it and over time, you will notice a big benefit to yourself, mentally and physically, if you create sleep patterns that are, giving you the body the rest it needs. So just want to thank you. This was a great session. You'll be back next Thursday. And I just want to let people know, we're going to be talking about fear next Thursday. Yeah. So, I think that's a really good one, because a lot of people sometimes don't even realize that they have underlying fears, that they're, things that they can't do, but they don't realize that it may be a fear. So we're going to talk in depth about that next Thursday. So thank you again for your time. Have a wonderful weekend.
Take care.
I will see you next week. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it brought you some insight on your own sleep patterns and understand the benefits of sleep and how it affects your mental and physical well-being. So with that, I want to wish you a wonderful, happy Thursday. I will see you tomorrow with the doctor. She will be in the house tomorrow. We're going to be talking about relationships. And she has some amazing things that she can share with us that she actually has done in her previous podcasts and things when she talked to couples that were in relationships for more than 40 years. So she's got some great tips for us as we talk about relationships tomorrow. Wishing you a wonderful Thursday. Be kind to yourself and to others, and I will see you tomorrow morning at 10. Thanks for joining in.